A 17-year-old boy asks a flight attendant one strange question during boarding. Within minutes, that question saves 237 lives. This is the true story of how a curious teenager noticed what trained professionals missed, and why his persistence turned a routine flight into an emergency landing. Before we dive in, what time are you listening? Where are you from? Drop a comment below and tell me. And please like and subscribe for more videos like this. Marcus Chen sits in seat 23A, watching passengers shuffle down the narrow aisle. He is flying alone for the first time, heading from Seattle to Boston for a summer engineering program at MIT. His parents dropped him at the airport 3 hours early, his mother hugging him twice, his father slipping him extra cash for emergencies. Now he is here, notebook open on his lap, observing everything with the intensity of someone who wants to remember every detail. The plane is a Boeing 737, and Marcus has spent the last month reading everything he can about aircraft systems. Not because he is nervous about flying, but because he is fascinated. He knows the cruising altitude, the fuel capacity, the redundancy systems. He has watched dozens of videos about how planes work, how they are maintained, what can go wrong and what cannot. The flight attendants move through their pre-flight routine with practiced efficiency. Marcus notices the senior attendant, a woman in her 50s with kind eyes and perfect posture. She checks overhead bins, helps passengers stow luggage, smiles at children. Everything seems normal. Everything is normal, except for one thing. Marcus keeps watching the rear galley area. He sees a thin stream of liquid dripping from somewhere near the back lavatory. It is clear, almost invisible, but it catches the light in a way that makes him notice. At first he thinks it is water, probably just condensation or a small leak from the bathroom sink. Nothing to worry about. Planes have minor issues all the time. They are built to handle them. But then he smells something. It is faint, sharp chemical. Not like bathroom cleaner or air freshener. Something else. Something that makes his engineering, obsessed brain start cataloging possibilities. He tries to ignore it, tells himself he is being paranoid, that his first solo flight is making him see problems that do not exist. The smell gets stronger. Marcus unbuckles his seatbelt and stands up. The plane is still boarding. Passengers still finding seats, the flight attendant still busy. He walks toward the back, trying to look casual, trying not to seem like a nervous teenager who is about to embarrass himself. The smell intensifies as he gets closer to the rear galley. That is when he sees it more clearly. The liquid is not dripping from the lavatory. It is coming from behind a panel near the galley, seeping out in a steady, thin stream that pools slightly on the floor before evaporating. He approaches the senior flight attendant. She is securing a bin, her attention on a family trying to fit an oversized carry-on into an already full compartment. Marcus waits until she finishes, then clears his throat. "Excuse me," he says. "I think there might be a problem." She turns to him with a professional smile. "What can I help you with?" "There is something leaking back here," Marcus says, pointing toward the galley. "And it smells strange. Not like water." The attendant walks over, glances at the area Marcus indicated. She sees the small puddle, kneels down, touches it with her finger, sniffs. Her expression does not change. "It is just condensation," she says. "Happens all the time, especially in humid weather. Nothing to worry about." But the smell, Marcus persists. "It does not smell like water, it smells chemical. Like hydraulic fluid, maybe." The attendant stands up, her smile tightening slightly. "Sir, I assure you everything is fine. These planes are inspected before every flight. If there was a problem, we would know about it. Please return to your seat so we can finish boarding." Marcus hesitates. He wants to argue, wants to explain that he has studied aircraft systems, that hydraulic fluid leaks can be serious, that the smell is wrong. But he is 17, and she is an experienced flight attendant, and he can see in her eyes that she thinks he is just another nervous flyer looking for problems. He returns to his seat. The plane finishes boarding. The captain makes his announcement. They are cleared for pushback. The engines start their low rumble. Everything proceeds according to schedule. But Marcus cannot shake the feeling that something is wrong. He keeps thinking about that leak, that smell. Hydraulic systems control critical functions. Flight controls, landing gear brakes. A significant leak could mean catastrophic failure. He knows he could be wrong. He probably is wrong. The plane has been inspected. The crew is trained. They know what they are doing. The plane begins to taxi toward the runway. Marcus grips his notebook, his mind racing through scenarios. He thinks about his parents, about the engineering program he is supposed to start next week, about all the people on this plane who trust that everything is fine. He thinks about staying quiet, about not making a scene, about the humiliation of being wrong. Then he thinks about being right. He unbuckles again and stands up. A flight attendant immediately notices and moves toward him. "Sir, you need to be seated. We are about to take off." "I need to speak to the captain," Marcus says. "Right now." The attendant looks confused, slightly annoyed. "That is not possible. Please sit down." "There is a hydraulic fluid leak in the rear galley," Marcus says louder now. "I am not trying to cause trouble, but someone needs to check it before we take off." Other passengers are starting to notice. Some look concerned, others irritated. The senior flight attendant from earlier approaches, her professional demeanor showing strain. She recognizes Marcus, sees the determination in his face. "Young man, we have already discussed this," she says firmly. "There is no leak. You need to sit down immediately or we will have to remove you from the aircraft." Marcus feels his face flush. He knows how this looks. Difficult passenger, attention seeker, problem child. But he also knows what he saw, what he smelled. He takes a breath and speaks clearly, loudly enough that nearby passengers can hear. "I am not trying to cause a scene," he says. "But I am asking you to please check the hydraulic systems before this plane takes off. If I am wrong, I will apologize to everyone. But if I am right and we take off anyway, people could die." The cabin goes silent. The weight of those words hangs in the air. The senior attendant stares at Marcus, her expression unreadable. Then she picks up the phone and calls the cockpit. 2 minutes later, a maintenance crew boards the plane. They go straight to the rear galley. Open panels Marcus did not even know were there. They inspect, they test, they confer in low voices. The passengers wait in tense silence. Marcus sits in his seat, wondering if he just made the biggest mistake of his life. If security is about to escort him off in handcuffs. If his parents are going to get a call about their son causing a disturbance on a commercial flight. Then he sees the maintenance supervisor's face, sees the crew move with sudden urgency, sees them return to the cockpit, sees the captain emerge, sees the flight attendants begin making announcements. "Ladies and gentlemen," the captain says over the intercom, "we are going to need to deplane the aircraft. Please gather your belongings and proceed to the gate in an orderly fashion. We apologize for the inconvenience and will provide updates as soon as possible." The passengers grumble, complain, gather their things. Marcus sits frozen, unsure what is happening. The senior flight attendant approaches him as the cabin empties. Her expression has completely changed. "You were right," she says quietly. "There was a significant hydraulic leak. Multiple systems were compromised. If we had taken off, if we had gotten to cruising altitude, the captain says we likely would not have been able to land safely. You saved this flight. You saved all of us." Marcus does not know what to say. He just nods. The airline puts all the passengers on a different aircraft. The delay is 5 hours. People are frustrated, angry about missed connections, ruined plans. But they are alive, they are safe. And most of them never learn about the teenager in seat 20, 3A who refused to stay quiet. Marcus finally arrives in Boston 12 hours late. His program coordinator picks him up, apologizes for the delay, asks if the flight was okay. Marcus says it was fine. Just a mechanical issue. Nothing dramatic. But 3 weeks later, he receives a letter from the airline. It thanks him for his vigilance and attention to detail. It explains that the investigation found a manufacturing defect in the hydraulic line that had gone undetected during routine inspections. The defect would have caused complete hydraulic failure at altitude, likely resulting in loss of control. The airline is inspecting all similar aircraft. They are changing their inspection protocols. They are crediting his ticket and giving him free flights for life. The letter also includes a note from the captain. It is handwritten, personal. It says that in 30 years of flying, he has never had a passenger potentially save his aircraft. It says that Marcus should be proud of his knowledge, his courage, his refusal to be dismissed. It says that the aviation industry needs more people like him. Marcus keeps the letter in his notebook. He does not show it to many people. He does not post about it online or seek attention. But when he starts his first class at MIT, when the professor asks the students to introduce themselves and share why they chose engineering, Marcus tells the story. He talks about noticing something wrong, about speaking up despite being dismissed, about trusting his knowledge even when it seemed impossible that he could be right. The most important skill in engineering, Marcus says, is not just learning how things work. It is having the courage to say something when they are not working. Even when everyone tells you that you are wrong, his classmates listen in silence. The professor nods slowly. Someone in the back row starts clapping, and soon the entire room joins in. Marcus feels his face flush again, but this time it is different. This time it is not embarrassment or fear, it is pride. 237 people went home that day because a 17-year-old boy asked one strange question and refused to accept the first answer he received. Because he trusted what he observed over what he was told. Because he understood that being right is more important than being comfortable. The flight attendant who initially dismissed Marcus later wrote to him personally. She apologized for not taking him seriously, explained that she had seen countless false alarms from nervous passengers over the years, admitted that her experience had made her complacent. She thanked him for his persistence. She said she would never dismiss a passenger concern again, no matter how unlikely it seemed. That same manufacturing defect was found in 14 other aircraft. All were immediately grounded and repaired. Industry experts estimated that Marcus's single question potentially prevented multiple catastrophic failures, potentially saving hundreds or even thousands of lives over the following months. Marcus graduates from MIT 4 years later with degrees in aerospace engineering and mechanical systems. He is recruited by 3 major aircraft manufacturers. He chooses the one that emphasizes safety culture and continuous improvement. On his first day, his supervisor asks why he chose aviation. Marcus tells the story of his first solo flight, of the leak he noticed, of the question he asked. The supervisor listens carefully, then says something Marcus never forgets. In this industry, we do not build perfect systems. We build systems that fail safely. But even the best systems need people who pay attention, who ask questions, who refuse to assume everything is fine just because someone says it is. That is what you did. That is what you will keep doing here. Years later, Marcus becomes one of the youngest safety inspectors in commercial aviation. He develops new protocols for pre-flight inspections. He trains flight crews and maintenance teams. He gives talks at industry conferences about safety culture and the importance of listening to every voice, regardless of age or experience. But he always remembers that day on the tarmac in Seattle, watching a plane he almost flew on get towed away for emergency repairs, knowing that his one strange question made all the difference. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe for more videos like this.